Hello, Weil Alumni. I'm Justin Lee, one of the co-heads of the banking and finance team here at Weil and the global head of liability management and strategic capital solutions. I'm thrilled to return to the Weil Alumni Interview Series as a host and to speak with a good friend and exemplary member of our alumni community, Erin Law, who is currently an executive director at Morgan Stanley, where she is a member of the U.S. Litigation and Regulatory Enforcement team, as well as the global pro bono lead counsel. Erin first came to Weil as an associate in 2001 and stayed with us for over 10 years before moving in-house to Morgan Stanley. She joined Morgan Stanley as a VP in litigation, and she has spent time in the litigation operations and management, including work on firm integration initiatives following Morgan Stanley's acquisition of E-Trade and Eaton Vance. I'm proud to share that Erin has earned prestigious honors reflecting her phenomenal legal skills and deep commitment to pro bono work, including the American Bar Association's Pro Bono Publico Award and Bard College's John Dewey Award for Distinguished Public Service. These accolades reflect on Erin's dedication and leadership to organizations, including the New York Lawyers for Public Interest and the Ali Forney Center. We have been grateful for Erin's continued support and contributions in connection to Weil, including inspiring the next generation of legal talent through various professional development, inclusion, and pro bono initiatives. Thank you, Erin, for joining us for this interview.
Well, it's my pleasure, Justin. I'm happy to be here.
So just to begin, and it's been a while since we've connected, I'd love for you to tell us a little bit about what your current role entails at Morgan Stanley.
Sure. So I'm executive director in the legal and compliance division. And in that capacity, I'm a litigation attorney covering the institutional securities businesses as well as asset management. So when we say institutional securities, that means everything from sales and trading to investment banking, as well as M&A, capital markets. It's really a broad remit. I don't cover wealth management. So that's the advisors that are all over the country, of which we have thousands. So that part of the business I'm not involved in. And then, my work focuses on both litigation and regulatory enforcement matters, and sort of helping the business think about risk and strategy in that capacity. And then my other hat is I am global pro bono lead counsel for the firm. We have a really robust pro bono program. We've been doing pro bono at Morgan Stanley for about 12 years. I started the pro bono program here with the dedication of leadership and their buy-in. And I'm proud to say that now we do it in all of our legal offices around the world.
Erin, I don't know if you remember, but you were one of the advisors when I was a summer associate. So we go way back when, and I've always thought of you as a real leader. We have a new Weil Leadership podcast. And it'd be great to hear a little bit about your theory of leadership and how you lead in your day-to-day.
Yeah, I think my style of leadership, I would say it comes down to sort of being thoughtful, being human, and being direct with the people that I work with. I believe really strongly in treating people well, like be nice. Being respectful, collaborative, that's the way that you get the most out of the people that you work with. They feel comfortable bringing all of their talents into the room and to take risks, which is what you definitely want people that you're working with and who are on your teams to show you what it is that they can do. I also try to stay open-minded and am willing to change my mind. I have a strong point of view, but I also think sometimes good judgment means that you evolve in the way you're thinking about things. I guess I would also say I try to be very intentional about communication and being very clear. Less is usually more in writing and also in oral communication. I try to model that. And then I think when things get heated, which can happen a lot in litigation, I really am a strong believer in pausing before reacting. You should really take a moment, take a beat before reacting, because oftentimes on reflection, there's a better way to respond to get you and the people that you're working with to the right place.
Pivoting to a little bit about your time at Weil, what are some of your best memories from the over decade that you spent here?
I worked on a lot of really high stakes and complex matters at Weil. I think I think I always tell people that I joined Morgan Stanley at the tail end of the financial crisis. So my time at Weil was really shaped by what was happening in the markets. I was at Weil when Lehman collapsed. I was at Weil when I actually was, when I started at Weil, it was the tail end of the dot-com boom. And so there was a tremendous amount of litigation and bankruptcy litigation that resulted from that. And when I joined the firm, I really felt like, oh, I'm going to be a litigator. I'm going to do complex commercial litigation, securities litigation. Guess what? When times change, you turn into a bankruptcy litigator. And that was some of the greatest experiences that I had, because bankruptcy litigation was very quickly. So you have to think on your feet. You have to be willing to really put in like very long hours sometimes, but the reward is that you get results very quickly, because the courts rule, doesn't take 6 months for a motion to dismiss and then another 6 months for discovery. It's all happens in a matter of days and weeks. So that's one of my best memories, I think, and also just Weil's commitment to sort of excellence in that. I had to make sure that every piece of work product that I had was, perfect. And I think, I really took that to heart. I really tried to, at least when I was an associate, and understanding that what I do reflected on the people that I worked with, both above and below. It certainly is a hierarchical place, just like any other corporation, like Morgan Stanley is the same. And I think part of your job as an associate and probably even as a partner is to make the people around you also look good. So I think there was, a real focus on that. And I tried to do that as well. And then I think the final thing I would say is the culture at Weil. I was involved at a time when the firm was just starting out with its affinity groups, and I was very involved in the beginning of the first LGBTQ plus affinity program, which was really a rewarding experience. I met people across the firm that I otherwise would not have worked with directly. I think because it is such a large place, and people have very defined practice areas, some of which are very siloed. And so that was a great way to learn not only what other people were doing, but just to establish a greater network.
Excellent. So as you've ascended and as you've moved on from your time at Weil, what are some of the lessons that you take with you that you put into your day-to-day practice?
I would definitely say preparation is key. Always, when I worked at Weil, half the battle was walking into a meeting and having anticipated every question that could be asked of me, even if it was not client facing, if it was just internally facing meetings, being prepared, having a strong work ethic. There's just no substitute for that. I think that, and then also how you show up, being professional. It matters almost as much as what is how you come across and how you're communicating. So I think being thoughtful, professional, collaborative really matters.
Erin, I can't underscore enough your lasting ties to the firm and your really important pro bono work that you did both here and at Morgan Stanley. Can you speak a little bit to the collaboration between our two firms in that regard?
Just to sort of level set, pro bono reflects why I became a lawyer in the first place. And I think that volunteering your skills is such a privilege and a responsibility. And through my program here at Morgan Stanley and also Weil's pro bono program, which I was very involved with as an associate, that's a way to provide critical legal services to people who would otherwise not have access to them. So some of the programs that we've done over the years with Weil include working with seniors to help them get rent relief. We have worked on immigration matters, especially right now. There's a critical need for people to have a contingency plan. If they have children who are citizens and they're non-citizens, do they have legal documents that say what will happen to their children if they are deported? And those are, clinics that we've done together I know with Weil, we do work with other firms as well, Weil being my favorite. But, all of these experiences, I think, also reinforces something I believe really strongly in, is that you should really like what you do. When your work aligns with your values, it can sustain you in a way that, sometimes some of the commercial work can be a little dry. And so this is something that I think can, harkens back to why did I become a lawyer in the first place?
Erin, it was incredible speaking with you. Thank you so much for joining us. You've always been an inspiration to me, and the firm is lucky to have you as one of our distinguished alumni. So thank you so much.
Well, it's my pleasure. Great to talk to you today.
Absolutely. Weil alumni, please stay tuned for additional updates, newsletters, etc. We look forward to hearing from you. Talk to you soon.